So we could start by thinking about the breathing tube. In fact, you are the breathing tube from head to toe, or in this instance, from the base of support, your seat bones. What we're going to explore in this session is just around the theme that the center of your breath, center of gravity, if you like, of your breath can't be low enough. If you're standing, it's in the soles of your feet, the arches of your feet. If you're sitting, it's in the pelvic floor, where that support is. It gets more and more efficient and integrated. But if I could just say this as we begin, it's just a principle that every integrated breath comes out of a lengthening spine. So if there's something going on that is in any way creating a shortening of the structure, it'll affect the freedom of the ribs to do this shape-changing thing. They need to be free. And so you need to give a little bit of attention to basic sort of postural details there, that your back feels long and strong and supportive, and that there's no unnecessary holding on to the globe of your head at the top end, and there's a nice sense of spread into the kind of roots and base of support. That's, if you like, the top and the bottom of the breathing tube. So let's just take 2 or 3 breaths just to kind of settle into that idea of the breathing tube having a bottom and a top, the crown of your head, the pelvic floor. Just a few nice open, deep, releasing opportunities to observe the sensations around the nostrils and lips, and let them spread, elide into the movements of the sensation of support from the seat bones and the base of support. Just feel that to be nicely spread. So if your attention drifts off in some way, which it's apt to do, you can bring it back either to the base of support at the bottom of the structure of your trunk, or back to the sensations at the top end that mark the movement of air into the body with the in-breath. So when I was a kid, the fairgrounds had air rifle shooting booths that had a jet of water with a ping pong ball, and they'd be at different heights depending on how much you opened the jet of water. It would make the ping pong ball rise up, and they would bobble up and down, making it more difficult to accurately shoot them and win the cuddly toy or whatever tatty prizes you got. But I just want to take, maybe a couple of handfuls of breaths, 9 or 10 breaths, and just work with this idea of entering more fully into the space between the end of the out breath and the beginning of the in breath, with a sense that the sternum, your breastbone, is about 9 or 10 inches long, so it could take 10 breaths, and with each one see if you can find a kind of tension. If you let go of it, it drops the ping pong ball down an inch. So in that space between the in breath and the out breath, there'll be absolutely guaranteed there'll be things to let go of. Face, jaw, head, neck, shoulders, anything that you can find there will just allow that ping pong ball to drop. So by the time we get to the end of that 9 breath sequence, the ping pong ball isn't rising up at all, it's just sitting on the top of the arch of the ribs. Again, no problem if your attention skips off, you can bring it back, but do be firm to take it by the hand and bring it back again. Okay. So that's a way of thinking about getting the center of gravity of your breath to drop. And you're achieving that by letting go of any tensions associated with the in-breath. Neck, jaw, head, face, shoulders, all of those kind of tensions will produce a lifting of the center of gravity of the breath, and If it's really very high and you're very, very agitated, that ping pong ball is right up in the back of your throat. But in that exercise, if you were attentive to it, you'll find that as that settles down progressively to the extent that you let go of those tensions, you're actively participating in the process. Then you'll observe the centre of gravity of your breath dropping. And the whole pelvic floor region is part of, an intimate part of that process. So we'll go around that loop again, only this time the ping pong ball now begins at the top of the arch of your ribs, or the bottom of your breastbone. And over the next 9 or so breaths, you can let it drop even deeper. So it drops down to the area of the solar plexus. Even further down to the area around the navel, the belly button. The area between the belly button and the pubic bone. And as low as the pelvic floor itself. So there's a very good map of the territory of that in the chakra system from the east, each one of those regions having a special significance. But the point being to use your attention, particularly super powered, super vigilant, around the area of the end of the out-breath, before the beginning of the out-breath. So all of those amount to the simplicity of the lungs being pear-shaped, so they need to expand from the bottom, and the ribs, the further down you go, the more elastic they are. They hang down in a neutral place, and they flare upwards to make the expansion, the spaces that begin an integrated breath sequence. So we'll go around that loop of 9 or so breaths again, and remember how your attention can immerse itself into the rich sensations, as we were just doing there. It spreads and opens to become more receptive to those rich array of sensations. And this will close the sequence, but what's happening there is, if you'd like to actually do something on the out breath, you could pinch the nostrils together a little bit. I mean, I don't mean with your fingers, but just with the muscles around the nostrils and upper part of the cheek, so it produces an audible sound on the out breath, like so. The point about doing that is that when it comes to that space between the end of the out breath and the in breath, you let go of that, and the nostrils will reflexly bounce and flare outwards. Okay, nearly at the close, so just lots of space for those 9 breaths. So of the many things that are important, significant there, we started with an integrated breath coming out of a lengthening spine, and the movements of the lower ribs were very much part of the focus of attention there. The thought that an integrated breath is a whole, works better as a whole, which is easing closer to a healing breath. As you allow your attention to return back to outwardly turned worldly demands and concerns, do remember that all the resources that we are looking at here are still available. There may be moments when you're just about to snatch at the gift of a breath and in some way react. That there is that possibility to consciously be present and intervene and make a difference. Fundamentally looking after yourself, self-care.